Dear students, we were discussing about the characteristics of road transport over other modes of transportation. Different characteristic points are: road are used by many types of vehicles such as pedal cycle, animal drawn carts, three-wheelers, four-wheelers, trucks, buses, tractor and trailer units, etc. Such possibility is not observed in case of either railway track or waterways or airways. In case of airways, helicopter and aircrafts, aeroplanes. In case of waterways, ships, boats only can be navigated on railway track. Locomotives and wagons can be run. Second characteristic point, relatively small investment for government with respect to vehicles or even construction cost and maintenance cost. Third point, road transport offers complete freedom to the road users. It is 100% true. Any road user can change his vehicle from one lane to another lane. Even he can change from one road to the another road. Even he can change the direction of movement. Just he has to make sure that safety is ensured when he is moving on the roads. Next characteristic point is short distance travel. Road transport saves time. Definitely short road distances, which is much cheaper, saves time and comfortable to the public. Another characteristic points are road transport offers itself to whole community alike. Also, speed of the movement is directly related to the severity of accidents. When there is flexibility or freedom to the road user, definitely there will be more accidents. That's why we can observe number of accidents on roads compared to other modes of transportation. However, we should not forget that even a single derailment or a single air crash will become more disastrous. It takes away many lives of the people, not only lives of the people, but it damages huge cost of vehicles. Therefore, it is uneconomical too in that direction. Therefore, road transportation, if provided the network is good and roads are constructed with smooth surface, with easy gradients and with easy curves on horizontal alignment, definitely with good vehicle, with safety, the road user can drive his vehicles, no doubt. Next, historical development of road construction we will see. In the olden days, people used to use the footpath as a road. They used to move on the footpath itself. And then they have started carrying some materials, even people on camel, horses, and donkeys. Even till today in rural area, we can see all these movement of people and material from one place to another place by using such domestic animals. After the invention of wheel, as civilization evolved, the need for transportation increased. People felt that in order to move these steel-tired vehicles on road, the road surface provided should be hard enough. Means hard surface should be provided. With that intention, the roads which are in the authentic record of Assyrian period and Roman roads about 3000 BC, and Assyrian authentic records are available, that is about 1900 BC. You can see here the road is constructed in such a way that irrespective of the stride, regardless of gradient, it was built by digging the soil, soft soil, till they get a hard strata. Here, hard strata. Till they get hard strata, they used to dig the soil. Also, the total thickness of the road was varying from 0.75 meter to 1.2 meter. They used to use 10 to 20 centimeter thick subgrade and then large foundation stones in lime mortar, you can see here, and broken stones in lime concrete, one layer, and another layer of lime concrete. At the surface, they used to have large stone slab of 10 to 15 centimeter thick. The total width of the pavement considered was 5 meter. This is 50% road width, and they have provided curbstone to maintain lateral stability of soil. So therefore, such roads are huge construction. Next, these are also different views of Roman road. Next one, Tresagat road. This is also of such nature. It is also huge thickness. The cross slope they have provided 1 in 36. Total thickness is 25 centimeter. Uniform thickness for sub-base and base course was used. Next one, Telford construction. Of course, this is look like a fruit cake, but it is not the cake. It is the below portion is solid earth, above portion is mud. In between, small broken stones are compacted. The depth is around 1.7 meter to 2.2 meter. 1.7 to 2.2 meter of road construction. Large size stones of width equal to 40 mm are used. After filling the space between the foundation stones, 2 layers of stones having a compacted thickness of 100 to 50 mm respectively laid in the center and center of 5.4 meter width. The top layer of the road was made of 40 mm thick binding layer of gravel. Next is macadam construction. Macadam construction gained importance in the year 1827. He was the Major General Surveyor of England. He has constructed the road with scientific thought. There are 2 scientific points he has put forwarded. One with respect to drainage, another with respect to slope that is to be provided from the subgrade level itself. In all layers, the slope was maintained. Slope was maintained in all the layers up to the surface. The slope which was provided was 1 in 36. And gradation of aggregates so as to make proper drainage, thereby the soil or any other material in different layers will not come in contact, so that it will not lose any strength, so that it can take more load coming over it. That was the scientific thought. That's why he has used broken stones passing 50 mm sieve, 100 mm thick, first layer. In the second layer he has used passing 39 mm sieve, passing sieve, 100 mm thick, and then ultimately the surface layer used 37.5 mm, 19 mm sieve, 50 mm thick, and which provides a camber of 1 in 36. Next, highway development in India. After the First World War, actually, the roads which were existing were not cope up with that then present traffic, especially mixed traffic flow conditions. It could not able to sustain the motor vehicles which are playing on the roads. Then the government has given thought to form a committee so that they can look into these problems of road construction. Thereby, good roads can be provided to the society. Accordingly, both the chambers of resolution have formed the committee known as JICAR committee under the chairmanship of Mr. M.R. Jayakar, who was the first vice chancellor of SPPU. Earlier it was Pune University. It was formed in the year 1927. Then they have submitted the report in 1928. We will come a little bit later. Then Central Road Fund, as per the recommendation of JICAR committee, was formed in 1929. Indian Road Congress was started in the year 1934. Then Motor Vehicle Act in 1936. First 20-year road developmental plan in 1943 to 63. Then Central Road Research Institute CRRI in 1950. National Highway Act in 1956. Second 20-year road developmental plan started in the year 1961 to 1981. Further, Highway Research Board, one of the sub-body of IRC, started in 1973. National Transport Policy Committee, so as to arrive different policies in the year 1978. Third 20-year road developmental plan, that is also happened to be one of the 20-year road developmental plan, long-term developmental plan for the period 1981 to 2001. In the year 1995, National Highway Authority of India started. He is Mr. Jayakar. He is Mr. Jayakar, who was the chairman of the JICAR committee, which was formed in 1927, and they have viewed all the defects, all the problems, difficulties which have been facing by the people, road users, and they have submitted the report in the year 1928. You can see here 1928. We will stop here. We will continue in the next class.